Welcome back to the Rich Equation. This is episode 12. We're going to talk about management systems and how it can significantly improve the probability of your success in your business. And I think that there are probably ways to build these management tools in your personal life as well. But in regards to business, I don't really care how big your business is, whether you're doing $1 million of revenue or $500 million of revenue. There are tools and strategies and proven systems that increase the probability of success, that increase the ability for your business to get traction on the ideas, vision, mission, and values of your company. And I'm going to talk about a couple of them today, and we'll put some of the links down below in the podcast, and we'll talk about them. But one of them is EOS. I know that there's a handful of other ones like Balanced Scorecard as well, but we really like EOS, and I'll talk about what the EOS system is and even what Balanced Scorecard is. We'll talk about a little bit in theory first, but essentially what it does is it helps entrepreneurial organizations that don't have incredible amounts of corporate experience, which are most entrepreneurial businesses. Even at the $200, $300, $400 million range, I have seen some very successful people financially run really sloppy businesses. And so what these management companies, these management tools do is help build structure and systems to improve the probability of a well-run business. And really, we're talking about companies that are self-run, companies that can have generational transition, that are run based on metrics and people-focused, and really trying to maximize the opportunity of what that business is designed to do, whether it's generate profit or serve the owner or serve its people or serve its shareholders. So EOS, for example, starts out with core values, core focus, which are essentially what are the core values of our company? What are the things that transcend our people in terms of our day-to-day behaviors and our values? And then what are the things that we want to focus on? So what are the business segments? What is the customer segments? What are the product segments of our business? And again, some of this may sound incredibly nebulous and a little bit general, but you have to remember that most entrepreneurial businesses don't have MBAs sitting at the top. They don't have incredible amounts of infrastructure and bureaucracy. They're run mostly by a handful of decision makers. And so some of these systems allow structure with a lot of flexibility. And so there's not a perfect science to any of this. It's really designed to serve each individual business. It also allows you, EOS specifically, it allows you to find short-term, medium-term, and long-term targets. Let's say 1 year, 5 year, 10 year. And it helps you identify some of the most critical things in those different time horizons, because when we think about what is most important for us to do in year 1, it's not exactly the same as what we need to do in year 10. It's completely different, in fact. So, but by knowing what we are wanting to accomplish in those different time horizons, we're able to know where to point our ship and then adjust accordingly. It helps us talk about traction. Now, this is one of the things that EOS is probably really known for, is traction, which means is how do we get the entire business working together and mobilized to move the business forward in the direction that we want to go, right? How do we really get traction on the things that we want to get traction on? How do we get the results that we want? And so they have a very disciplined meeting approach that is called L10 meetings. They also talk about issues and issue processing in the form of rocks. And so we'll talk about what a rock is. Now, a rock is essentially a very big boulder or a big rock that needs to move forward in the business for us to achieve our strategic goals. They talk a lot about this in business school or business theory about rocks, pebbles, and sand. And it's very easy for us to get lost in sand and see all the little things within our companies that we have to focus on and get distracted. from achieving our ultimate objective or our medium long-term vision and goals. The Pebbles are maybe weekly or monthly, or things that get us distracted as well. Maybe they're larger projects, maybe a little bit more meatier than a piece of sand. The rocks are the big ones. The rocks are the things that we know we need to focus on, but we just can't see them because there's just so much sand everywhere. And so EOS or other management systems, just like it, let us keep it front and center that these are the top 4, 5, 6 things that the entire business has to work on and has to move forward. And I've just really enjoyed working in this framework. It's something that we've adopted for a few years. We have an implementer that helps us guide this process, and we use it in a couple of our different companies. And it's something that I highly recommend. It allows you to look at the business in a super objective way, and it also takes away the he said, she said part of implementing strategy and process within a business. It doesn't matter whether the operations manager or the finance manager or the marketing manager, somebody specifically has some way to do something. EOS takes all of that and makes it objective because they have a system, and it gives the company a common vocabulary. And that's something that's really important, right? As the whole business, does everyone have a common vocabulary in how we're moving? It helps us think about right people, right seats. We get caught up with people in our businesses and where we want to put people, even though they're not right there, or we have a seat and we put the wrong person in that seat. So it allows us to look at all of these aspects of our business incredibly discompassionately. It allows us to see what are we doing to help us make better decisions as a group, and then also learn how to manage conflict and deal with issues in an incredibly productive way. Highly recommend it. EOS is one of them. I know a bunch of people who are also using Balanced Scorecard. Balanced Scorecard is another system that you can look up, and there are many consultants and research firms and all that have a lot of content on this, but I thought I'd leave one episode talking about these management systems because I wish I learned about this many, many years ago. I think that, coming out of business school, thinking we know how to run companies, learning how to do accounting and operations and manufacturing, it has nothing to do with how to really get traction every single day in a business. And so as an entrepreneur, it's really important on how to find tools and strategies to move the business forward in the right direction with everyone at the same exact time. And so these systems, which are really well designed for entrepreneurial types of businesses, EOS can run in companies with 10,000 people. So it's really designed to be flexible and easy to integrate and to be able to really get it within your business quickly and efficiently and not be super bureaucratic. That was some of the most important things to us for our businesses, but also in how we wanted to run our business. We wanted to be flexible and entrepreneurial without having a ton of structure and a ton of limiting processes. And that's what some of these systems really are doing. So I highly encourage you guys looking into it. We'll put some of the links of EOS and Balanced Scorecard, some research links down below. And I hope you guys find that resourceful and find your own operating system for your business to help you drive more efficiency. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks so much for listening. This is the Rich Equation.